Today I'm going to show you how to make a hanging basket with an octopus top. It's made for our boat to store fruit in when we're on passage, so that the fruit bowl and the fruit don't go everywhere when the boat heels over. What we're using is a fruit bowl that I've found that's got lots of holes in it, 6 rolls of thread which are 2 meters long each, and a pair of scissors. I did get the glue out, but I didn't actually use it in the end. I've marked 6 of the holes equidistant from each other, so these are going to be the places where I actually thread the string through. When I take the thread off the spool, I fold the thread in half. I thread the string through the hole, and I use a lark's head knot to keep it in place, and I do that for all 6 of the holes. Once all 6 strings are put in place, I start to knot them together. I take the 2 pieces of string that are closest to each other and tie a regular knot, making sure that when I tighten the knot, both sides of the string are equal. And I do this all the way around the bowl, making sure that all of the knots are the same distance from each of the lark's head knots, so that when it hangs evenly. The only pair of threads that I don't knot are the ones that are going to make the front of the basket, where I'm going to be able to put my hand in and take the fruit out. So for now I'm going to leave those 2 pieces without knotting them. Then basically I make a second row of knots. So starting with the first knot that I made, picking up the closest 2 threads and making another knot. And I do exactly the same in this round of knots as I did the first time. Now it's time to do something with those front 2 pieces of string. So I take the front piece of string and the closest piece of string next to it, and I tie a knot in position so that basically the knot is placed directly above the front hole, so it goes straight up from the front. And I do the same on the other side. And just picking it up to make sure that it's hanging evenly and it doesn't dip one way or the other. Cool. So then I go around again. This time I tie all of the strings together, again tying the closest threads 1 pair at a time until I've worked my way around the whole of the bowl. If the string had been longer, I probably would have made it a little bit bigger, but I was restricted by the length of the string. So now we've got the basket in place. I'm just adjusting a couple of the knots to make the string even, so it hangs evenly. One final layer of knots. To make the hanging loop, which I'm going to make into an octopus head, an octopus shape, I take 3 lots of strands. So 4 from the right, 4 from the middle and 4 from the left, and I plait them, just making a regular plait. When the plait is long enough, but I've still got enough thread to loop it over on itself and tie it off and keep some thread for legs, I start tying knots. Basically, I take 1 pair of threads and tie it around the whole of the base. So I loop it over to make a loop, which is going to be the octopus head. And I tie a reef knot, right over left, left over right. And I go around choosing pairs of threads and secure them around the base of the loop, making reef knots to hold them in place until I've got 8 that I can knot. So I tie little knots in 8 of the strings that are equidistant from each other, so they're like little octopus legs. I cut off the excess string and then I knot any of the remaining threads that I haven't used for legs and cut the excess off. So there you have it, a hanging basket with an octopus loop, and now it just needs fruit. So Mr. Octopus is looking after my fruit, making sure that it stays in the bowl when we're on passage. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, do subscribe and click the bell icon so that you get updates of future videos, and do share. And if you've got any comments, I'd love to hear from you. This is Aannsha. See you next time.